Hi guys. So, as a firearm instructor and a tactical trainer, one of the things I get asked about a lot is inside the home, self-defense, and what is it that I should do if I hear somebody in my home? Well, I'm going to start off by telling you statistically, the worst thing you can do is to go cruising through your house, handgun or not, in the middle of the night in the dark. You are far better off to take up a stronghold position in one of your rooms. So this is something you have to think about. Do you have kids? Are they in other rooms? Are they upstairs, downstairs? Is your room upstairs, downstairs? Everybody has a unique situation. So I'm just going to go through my situation here and what the plan that I had developed to handle an intruder in the middle of the night. So the first thing I want to talk about is firearm choice. So I made a video about the AR-15 with the laser pointer, and the idea of that video was, high-powered rifles, although wonderful, may not be the best answer inside your dwelling due to, do you live in an apartment or a condo? Do you have other kids in the next room? So maybe that's not the greatest plan to have. If you're going to use an AR-15, then definitely find ammunition that is fragmenting. So as it hits anything, be a person, if it fragments, that's a lot of wounding. Okay, that's kind of like a hand grenade going off, if you will. You got all those wounds all over the place. And if it hits walls, it'll incinerate or fragment out and not be going through a bunch of walls to hit other people. So my situation here is I live in a condo. I am attached on the one side over here to somebody else, and I'm attached on the side behind my back to somebody else. Nobody in the front and nobody in the back. So upon that, I'm able to look at my unit, and they're all exactly the same, and I'm able to say, okay, so I know where people would and wouldn't be. Now, the plan that was developed, included Sherry when she lived here, was she would take an AR-15 with the laser, like I said in the previous video, and she would go into the closet that's just behind me there. It's a big walk-in closet, and she would close the door all but just a little crack. So she could kind of peek out and see what's going on, but she had instructions, have that laser on, and if somebody opens up that closet door, unload 30 rounds right into their chest, okay? Point blank, wipe them out. So my philosophy was slightly different. So I could take up a strong point in the bedroom that was not in any direct line of her fire by coming behind the bed here, which is where I'm at now. And I could take up, handgun, 9mm, get behind the bed here, get down like this, and if somebody opens up the bedroom door, they're going to get capped, right? The other two parts of that was, a 38 is pretty good for inside the house. Shotguns. So here's my pistol grip shotgun with a light on the front of it. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then a semi-automatic shotgun, one I don't have to pump, that has a red dot type of sight on it. We'll get more on that in a minute, but first I want to go back to the philosophy. So you've heard something happen in the middle of the night. Hopefully, not only on your nightstand is your protection, your defensive protection, your pistol, your shotgun, or whatever, close at hand, but you also have a spare house key on a glow stick or a glow-in-the-dark type of key ring, in addition to your cell phone. So I've heard a bump in the middle of the night. I'm going to, wake up Sherry, get her to get into the closet with the AR-15, and I'm going to open up our window, and I'm going to toss a key out into the yard on that glow stick. I'm going to then take up a defensive position behind the bed. I'm using it for cover. It's really not going to stop any bullets flying at me per se, but it gives me a little bit of place to hide, and I'm going to kind of crouch down. Now imagine it's dark, So maybe I have a flashlight in my hand or a flashlight mounted on my gun, like the shotgun there, or maybe I have glow-in-the-dark sights, as I have that on a few of my pistols. Anyway, I can take up a defensive position right here, and I'm going to call 911. And I'm going to sit here looking at my door, or if my door happens to be open, I'm looking at the turn of the stairwell right there. You've got to come up the stairwell, make a turn, and I'm going to get you right there. I'll show you that on camera in a minute. But I'm on the phone with 911 telling them that I think there's an intruder in my house. I tell them that we are upstairs in the master bedroom. There's only one, there's a little sit room out there, and then there's one big bedroom up here. So I'm going to tell them we are upstairs in the bedroom, and it's the only room up here. And then I'm going to keep 911 on the phone the entire time in case something would play out. Someone does come up here, I'm going to be like, stop, I have a handgun, do not enter. And that way, if they do enter and I start shooting them, then the 911 operator, that's a good witness that I called them, I told them someone's in here, we've taken up a defensive position, we do have firearms, and we're willing to defend ourselves if something happens. So I'm going to stay here like this, and I'm going to wait for the police to come. When the police enter the home, and they start coming up the stairs, and I'm like, I have a handgun because I think it's an intruder, or I have a firearm. I wouldn't even say if I have a gun. I say, I have a firearm, then hopefully I'm going to see the flashing lights outside going and stuff, ricocheting off our wall. I know the police are here. So at that point, I would probably put my firearm down and make sure that I'm in a position where they know it's me and things are safe. Okay, so taking up a defensive position. Now, you have to think about, do I have kids? Do I need to run to my kids' room? Do I need to gather up two kids? We got two kids and two adults, and maybe your wife goes to one room and you go to another, and you take up a defensive position because you really shouldn't give a shit about guarding your TV or your microwave or whatever. If you're doing that, you need to reevaluate what you're thinking about. The only thing that mattered to me over the last 8 years was making sure nobody could get the sherry. That was my number one priority. That's it. No one gets the sherry, So another scenario that I would do as a drill is I would take the pump shotgun, and if you're going to use a shotgun, fantastic. It's less likely to penetrate through several walls and hit your neighbors or whatever, but no birdshot. Birdshot is an insufficient load for self-defense. I wouldn't go smaller than like number 4 pellets. Double-aught buck's pretty kicky coming out of it, especially a short little barrel like this. But like a number 4, you could even get the non-lethal. I wouldn't suggest that, but you could get the non-lethal beanbag loads or little round rubber ball loads if you wanted to. Anyway, I'm going to spin the camera around to show you our bedroom view. So, going this way, we have the bathroom, and then there's the walk-in closet where I would send Sherry. My view would be out there. So, my view is I'm going to come out here. Now, I could take a defensive position like back there somewhere, which wouldn't be bad. That kind of puts me out of the immediate fire of Sherry if she opens up. So maybe I'm back here looking forward at the stairwell. But to be honest with you, most of the time, my view was, and I'm gonna put the camera over here just so you can tell. So here we are. We're on the landing of the stairwell, right? I would take up a defensive position. So I can turn this so you can see me a little bit. Okay, I would take up a defensive position right here. So I'm crouched down and I'm looking down the stairwell. In our unit, in our condo, so there's 3 entry points. You could have come in from a sliding glass door in the living room. You could have come in from a bedroom window in the spare bedroom, or you could have come in from the front door. So either way you go, you've got to cross the main stairwell case down there on the bottom level. You have to walk. You're either in the kitchen or you're in the living room, spare bedroom. There's no other place to be. So what I don't care. You're down there and you're stealing my TV. I've got renter's insurance, and maybe you think differently than that. Maybe you think that's wrong, but I got renter's insurance and I'll get me a new TV. I'm not that worried about that. I'm going to be upset, but it's not a life and death situation to me. Protecting Sherry is. So here I am. I'm on the stairwell. I'm going to take a defensive position, right? If people start coming up that stairwell, I'm telling you, I'm going to be stacking dead bodies. And that's all there is to it to me. That's where it's going to go. If, maybe I came down here with a handgun, I could have brought an AR too, because I'm shooting down the stairs. I'll give you a viewpoint of that. There's no way that I'm going to shoot into somebody else's unit, because that's the stairwell going down to the main floor. That's my turtle there at the bottom. But, I'm shooting downward, so I'm not going to go into other walls and hit anybody. It's the same way with here. This is the view coming at me from the bedroom. And because of the way I know these units are designed, that side over there would be exactly the same. So, my angle is coming like this. So I know that I'm headed corner-wise. And even if I was to penetrate a wall, I'm going to hit their little wall like this in the top of their stairwell, which helps to limit my liability of possibly hitting somebody else. Not easy filming this stuff with a cell phone. So, it's more than just a firearm. It's a plan of action. It's getting on the phone to 911. It's about having a glow stick to toss to the cops so they can easily access your home or your apartment or whatever the case may be, right? And then it comes down to firearm choice. What are you proficient with? What are you comfortable with? What would stop an attack but not be over the top in regards to too much, right? So I don't want to just openly start firing rounds all over the place when I don't know where other people in my unit they're at. But like I said, this was the little closet back here, which is really pretty big. So Sherry was supposed to come in here like this, crack the door, and just kind of crouch down back here with the red dot laser on an AR. And if she had to open up, she had to open up. So why did I give Sherry an AR? Well, we used to keep an AR in that closet, so she wouldn't even have to grab it to run. She could just pick it up and run in there, and it would be in there ready for her. An AR is very smooth. It doesn't have any kick to it. She can handle it. She can manipulate it. I made her practice with it, so she knew what she was doing with it. And it offered more rounds than most handguns, right? Her little LC9 carried 7 rounds plus 1, so she got 8 bullets in that thing. In the AR-15, she had 30. So things like that to think about. I took a shotgun most of the time. A lot of times I grabbed a shotgun and had a pistol too. So that's just things to consider. I have a really bright light on my shotgun. If I hit that on the stairwell, I'm going to disorient you. You're not going to be able to see me. I'm going to blind you completely out. You have no idea how bright those little shotgun barrel lights can be. But those are the things that you should think about in your home and evaluate. Of course, I'm always willing to come out to a friend's house and just walk through it with you and take a look at your individual situation and give you ideas and pointers that I would do if it was my place. So I hope that sheds a little light on your defensive plans within your home. If you got any questions, as always, feel free. You can, private message me if you don't want anybody else to hear it. I don't believe there's any dumb questions. So feel free to contact me and let me know what you think. Stay virus free. Peace out.